Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Path to Magic. I am Ross, and I will be your humble guide through this path, as I'm also kind of new here. I've only been playing Magic for a little over a year, and I went to MagicCon in Las Vegas. So I want to break that down about how cool it's been to go to Las Vegas, but also my path to get there. First things first, I'm gonna be looking down here to transition slides really quick. Let's go. So we got some really cool things like Cabbage Man with a Bulbasaur as one of the cabbages. So there was a lot of cosplay at this MagicCon, which helped me really feel like I was in a whole other world. I felt calm, collected, and there's so many people dressed as people from cards and archetypes I didn't know. Seeing something from my favorite Avatar Last Airbender being my favorite show from when I was a kid, it was awesome. This person was very grateful enough to let me take a picture of them. And I was like, thank you so much. And they said, no worries. I'm here to protect my cabbages, and then scurried off. I literally turned around, gone. There were plenty of other people there. Again, like I said, cosplayed with wings, with halos. There's even some people who had their cosplays on display from past Magic Cons. Now, if you're not familiar with what Magic Con is a collection of people there to celebrate a card game known as Magic the Gathering. There are a lot of cases there where you can buy cards. There's a lot of people playing the game as you're going around. So if you're not necessarily a huge fan of the card game, let me tell you why you should still go. It's for the beautiful art, the community. There's so much time to be spent feeling welcomed. There's the Birds of Paradise booth, which allows you to express yourself in a new way. Women of Wizards, you have multiple chances to buy any card that you're looking for. And my personal favorite was that everyone was opening and welcome. No one was pushing each other in line. No one was cutting in line. And if someone tried to, most of us would call them out. I didn't because I was scared out of my wits. It was my first one. I didn't know where I stood. However, people or lovely cats I met along the way helped calm my nerves. They're releasing the new Cats Are the Best, I think is what it's called, Secret Lair, in about a week. And I got to experience a local shelter who brought some of their, or cat cafe, who brought some of their cats that could be adopted. And as you can tell, I'm incredibly excited to be holding this kitten. She was a little sleepy when I held her, but it was awesome to see some of the card art and some of the people get excited. And a lot of people asked, "Hey, may I adopt this cat?" Not just because they want to take care of them, but they were invested. They were wanting to be involved in the community. And there's so many opportunities to be involved in the community, so many awesome people that you can meet and play with. I met a few friends there. One guy I met was Ben, which you'll see later. Another was name is Jesus, whose Instagram is going to be in the description of this video. And those are just two guys I never even met in my life until I met them at the con, and now we play Magic semi often and text each other to a degree. So, yeah, I felt super supported, super loved, despite being a little weird, kind of like an outsider trying to look in because I haven't been playing for so long. But people were very quick to accept me, even though I was a newbie. As you can see, I'm the guy right here. And then two of my friends who I traveled there with, the man in the red shirt and the one in the snapback flipped backwards, were people that I was rooming with in a hotel close by in Vegas. And to be honest, the trip would not have been the same without having some friends of mine there. They were my comfort blanket when I needed it. They taught me the ropes. They showed me where to go, where not to go. All this to say, though, I still was able to find my way around. with the help of random people like this gentleman here, I was able to migrate and move through the crowd with ease. I was very grateful to again met Jesus, who was my buddy on that first day. I lost track of both of my friends here pretty quickly as they went and did their events that they signed up for. But as for me, I didn't sign up for anything because I didn't know that I could sign up for anything. And I was taken under the wing of someone who had been to a few different cons and said, "Hey, let's go." I said, "Okay." And just followed him through the card shop, saw how he bartered, saw how he shopped through the card sections. And that just goes to say that even the strangers here, like the people I didn't know, were all super helpful and really helped me feel part of that community that I am making this video for. This is a community that truly loves and cares for the people in it. And so I hope to continue to facilitate that as I continue making videos about how awesome of almost a family that I found myself enveloped in. I have a few more things to show you though. So they called this Lobby Con. So the convention goes from Friday, Saturday to Sunday. I was lucky enough to have the premium weekend pass where I was able to go all days. I got some awards for it, such as cards and a playmat. And I also had the opportunity to meet some really awesome people. These are some of the really awesome people that I met. In the background, I didn't know him at the time, but the man sitting here with the wedding ring on was a player that my friend with the snapback really wanted to play with. So I wandered upstairs to see if I could find him. And in a hotel on Sunday evening. They called this LobbyCon because a lot of players, after the convention was over at 6 p.m., ate dinner and then migrated to LobbyCon, or the closest hotel where a lot of people were staying. And I was very overwhelmed by the giant circular tables with over 100 people in there or more. I think there was close to there were thousands of people at this convention. So the fact that there were still hundreds left over just to play, we filled the hallways, we upstairs and downstairs, and it was awesome. What was really cool about this experience though is that my friends came up and took this awesome picture of me playing a game called Mood Swings with its creator. And at the time, I didn't know who this guy was. To be honest, I didn't know he was the creator of Mood Swings just because he invited me and just said, "Hey, would you like to play a game?" I was like, I'd love to play a game. He saw me watching the last players who were playing it, the people next year are playing Mood Swings. And I just was floored with the generosity of this gentleman. And he, for beginner's luck, or maybe he was maybe a little sleep deprived, considering that he was at the con just as much as I was, but I actually did win this first game. And then I was able to play him a second time and be bested by the master in his own game. And it was so fun. It was awesome to know that people care so much about this game, about this community, that even someone who has created a brand new game is willing to share it. We played with his deck that he kept in his pocket right here, and he just pulled it out, put it down, using a playmat that I had brought, and we went for it. I was successfully able to order one of these packs and Mood Swings on the secret layer that just dropped. And then I found out who this actually was. And I think that's a story for another video, because how I found out who this gentleman is was one of my favorite experiences of the MagicCon. Like I said, people were free with information. I For example, I went there with 500 cards, maybe total, across some commander decks I have bought. Commander, by the way, is a form of play style that I will 100% be covering in another video. That I left with over 800 without really spending too much money. I spent some money on a secret layer, some card sleeves, obviously, and then I also spent some on experiences that I could never wish to have back. Like, they were fantastic. I even spent time planning. I don't go creator hunting, but when me and Jesus were walking around that first day, we ran into arguably my favorite musical on this planet, Epic the Musical, a concept of Odysseus's journey through the Odyssey, written and scored by Jorge Rivera Herons and some of the crew that he helped create this awesome, in my opinion, masterpiece. I got to play a brand new game called Planechase with them. Never played it before, ever. And they were just so happy to be able to be playing a game that we sat down and they were willing to work with me. They helped me know how the game works. They were patient. They were open to explaining things if I had a question. And for one, we're cool enough to take this picture with me and the crew that we played with. So I can't believe how lucky I was to go to the Las Vegas Magic Con in 2026. It was something that made me want to be a part of this community to such a degree that I'm making this video. And yeah, it was anything short of a fun time. Everything there, the laughs, the sometimes frustration with not knowing which way your card's going to go, or maybe being a tiny bit impatient to wait in line for that one card that you see across the way that you really want, was all mitigated by awesome, genuine people. And I hope to continue to spread that in my videos. So thank you guys for watching this today, and I hope that I can continue to add to this positivity, to this creativity, to this inclusiveness, and genuinely warm feeling that the community has given me. I want to get back out. So please remember to drink water, hug someone that you care about, even if that means yourself. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.